welcome to the Via Stoica Podcast. I'm your host, Benny, and today we're going to look at a quote by Epictetus, and we're going to look at one from Book 2, Chapter 22 on friendship, and it's going to start right at the top. But before, please like and subscribe to the podcast, and if you have any things, questions, comments, whatever, put them under the video or on whatever platform you're listening to it, on Spotify, wherever, or on our YouTube channel. But we always love to see them, and thank you for all the support we've been getting. Really appreciate that. And if you're looking to put these Stoic knowledge and philosophy into practice, book a free consultation with me, and we can then talk together about how to implement it and see where you're struggling and build a plan based on that. But let's go right into the quote of today. Again, Epictetus. I have this lovely Everyman edition, but we also have the Robin Waterfield translation here next to us. So we're going to look at both. It's book 2, chapter 22 on friendship. And he says, "What a man sets his heart on, that he naturally loves. Do men set their heart on evils? By no means. Or on what does not concern to them? No again. It remains for us to conclude then that good things alone are what they set their heart on. And if they set their heart on those, they love them too." Now, I want to read the other translation before we dive into it, because it is important to take them into consideration. There's some small changes there, and I think that they are important to add to the conversation. So, a person is most likely to love something that if he prizes it. Do people prize things that are bad? No. Do they prize things about which they are indifferent? Again, no. So by a process of elimination, people prize only good things. And if they prize them, they also love them. Now, I think in this case, the Robin Waterfield translation works a little bit better. It makes it a little bit clearer, especially because he adds the part of like what, if he prizes it, right? So if he values it more. And there are two things to really look into here. And one thing that is after this, he goes on to say, so anyone who knows what's good will also know how to love it. Again, we come to this knowledge, right? And that's where we want to start. So if a person, knows what is good, then that's what we're going for, right? This is all the way back from Socrates. They realized like people don't do bad things knowingly. We're not going to go out and do something knowing that this is bad for me, right? Because we want to do things that are good for us. If we look at it from the animal perspective, it's to survive, to procreate, to make sure that the species survives. That's we also have those elements in us. But for us, really the good thing is to apply reason and logic to make sure that we make the right choices and that we move in the right way for ourselves and for the world around us, right? That's our task. That's kind of why we are given reason and logic. We have an extra level of responsibility there to do the right thing. It's not just to survive, but it's how we survive, how we live, doing the right thing, preserving our character, our souls. That's really an additional burden or responsibility that we've been given, and we need to make sure that we are up for the task, right? So the first step is to understand what is good, because if we don't know what that is, then we might up ending something that isn't good, but we do so unknowingly, right? So if we understand first what the right thing to do is, we can have our moral ethics, we can look at justice, what is fair for people around us, we can use our experiences, right? Stoicism is a very pro-social philosophy, and we need to make sure that we look at beyond ourselves, right? Again, the discipline of desire is something that comes into mind here a lot, because when we prize something that is external, right? In the Robin Waterfield, he talks about things that are indifferent. And this one, and in my translation, on the other one that I have, he said that what do we set our heart on, right? So if we are focusing on the indifference, and if we put too much value on those, for example, wealth, money, fame, all of these things, even health, all of these things, if we make sure that if we think that they are our main priority in life, then we might end up making the wrong decision. Because again, what is our main priority is to make the best choice to preserve our character, to do our best in the situation for ourselves and for those around us. But if we lean too much to those externals, then we will be taken away from our peace of mind, because at one point we might not get them, or they might be taken away from us. That's just how nature happens, right? So first of all, we need to understand what is good, what is the right thing to do. And then if we know that, then what Epictetus says is that we will love it. Why? Because we know it's the right thing to do. And if it's the right thing to do, then we will love it, right? Because here he says here, what a man sets his heart on, that he naturally loves. What do we set our heart on? To do the best thing we can, right? To preserve our moral character, to live in accordance with nature, with universal nature, and with our own nature. And if we can do that the right way, then we will find the things that make life good, and then we will love that as well. And then, even if it is the difficult decision, even if it goes against our individual wants and desires, we can find the courage to do it because we know that it's the right thing to do. So then if we see people around us doing things, we must understand that they believe that this is the right thing for them to do. Now, Marcus Aurelius, at one point, he says, like, we can, we are meant to live for each other, and we can either instruct them or endure them, right? We can either help them see the right thing. If they don't see it by themselves, maybe they are conflicted, maybe their mental states don't allow them to use reason and logic, and they're kind of moved away from that. And then we need to support them. We need to give them the guidance, or we need to ask for support if we are in that state. And then we can help them, move towards better decisions, move towards the good thing, and show them what the real good thing is to live in. And that is also our duty. That is also our responsibility in those situations. Let me read the quote one more time. And again, if you have questions, if you have different insights, leave a comment under the video. We really appreciate it. But here it goes. What a man sets his heart on, that he naturally loves. Do men set their heart on evils? By no means. Or on what does not concern them? No again. It remains for us to conclude then that good things are what they set their heart on. And if they set their heart on those, they love them too. So thank you again for joining us here on the Via Stoica Podcast. We have our regular episodes on Tuesdays where we look at different topics, or we have interviews, and we have Fridays our Stoic Quotes. If you want to like and subscribe, great. Again, leave comments. And if you want to book a free consultation with me for Stoic coaching, go to viastoica.com. There you can also find hundreds and hundreds of quotes ready for you to let yourself be inspired, to share wherever, to use for your own personal Enchiridion, your own personal handbook, as Arian made for himself after the teachings of Epictetus. But for now, thank you very much for listening. We really appreciate you, and we hope to see you in the next one.